Huh? Hey, great Tuesday morning. Great Tuesday morning. It is a beautiful morning in the city of Brownsville, Texas. And we send invite to Sam, see if he can come on in a bit. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. Why don't you be? Why won't you be? Oh, won't you be my neighbor? For some reason, uh, I can only get into four of my accounts and the YouTube. The other ones, I don't know what the hell is going on with Mendigo StreamYard. It's just the way it is. It's beautiful. Um, we might just do a quick show. Which is strange. It just really sucks when technology is not going your way. It's not working your way, and for some reason, this whole thing is just not clicking. Uh, I don't know if it's a time to start looking for a different stream agent, but this one is just not cutting it. It falls too many times. It requires for you to go back in there and get certification. Mándame. Bien. Hola, Pedro. Ah, me lo mandaste al WhatsApp. Ah, hazme un favor, mándame un puntito nada más para sacarlo adelante, por favor, porque recibo un tronazo de mensajes. Y ahorita te mando. Ahí. I get calls a lot of times by individuals, and they send me like tons and tons and tons of messages, and it's crazy because I try to get most of them, but a lot of them I just don't get. So what happens is I've got all these piled up messages, and I try to get to some of them, but then sometimes one or other slips the thing. So I tell people when they come, like, "Oh, I sent you some information." I go, "Put a little dot on there, dot." Like when you're trying to follow a post and you put a little dot, it's the same thing. Maybe it's just time for you to stop doing the shows. It doesn't give you time to prance around. I've thought of that, considered that. I just don't want to be like everyone else out there. I don't want to be an individual that started something and then just decided to, drop it just because it all doesn't work out well. Again, I still think that what we do is important. Uh, and one of the things I actually got some messages like, "Hey, Erasmo, there's other pages out there that are starting to do what you do." I have and they're friends of mine, Tito's something page, Samagon. Sorry, papi. Es que no soy bueno para los apellidos. And the Bonzo online page, and a couple of the Pulga pages. And I think what happens, a lot of people want to say like, "Oh well, they're your competition." I don't see it that way. I actually had a conversation with my friends there at Bronzeville Online. I said, I had the conversation with them, and I said, "You know what, guys?" I said, "I really appreciate what y'all do. It I never started this page for the likes and the shares, and I'm trying to make money off of it and the popularity type of situation. That's not the real reason why we started the page. We started the page to to keep people aware of what was going on. One of the things that I think that differentiates me is that my page, this page is not monetized. And my Facebook page, I'm sorry, my main Facebook page is not monetized. I don't make money from it. I don't go out there and sell advertising. People ask me, "Hey, can you promote my page? Can you promote my business?" I don't charge them. That's not what I mean. And again, and I had the conversation with the other pages that are coming out there that are doing a lot of what Erasmo Castro does, and I said, you know what, more power to you. If you can monetize and make a couple bucks here and there, I have nothing against that on a personal level. For me, doing the money thing muddles things up because we focus a lot on politics and on what really affects the city of Brownsville. You're not going to hear it, and I don't ask for stars like Frankie. Is that you're going to hear it from from like you're never going to hear my other the other pages that are out there. You're never going to hear them talk about BCIC, GBEC, and and the corruption that exists here locally. You're only going to hear that from Erasmo, and again, because I am well aware I'm well aware of everything that goes on is that because I've been at this for a while, and this is one of the, and I'm going to get into that. I've been at it for a while, and again, when I ran for mayor and for city commission, one of the questions that is always asked, what is, in your opinion, the number one uh, problem in the city of Brownsville? And those are the questions that people want answered, or those are the that's the diatribe that has to be out there mentioned because people need to know that things aren't always honky dory here. That was one of my concerns with pages like Brownsville Living. They were going out there and saying like, "Oh, everything's honky dory. Brownsville is amazing, and nothing to worry about. Everything's great." I'm going like, no, it's not. And unfortunately, what happens with a lot of these pages is because a lot of the things are great for the few individuals, and again, like Brownsville Living, because things were going great for them. They said, well, things are great in the city of Brownsville. That isn't the case for Brownsville as a whole, and that's part of the luxury that I don't have. I can't see Brownsville as the rich, the elite, and the people that I hang out with, or even with the people that I eat with, because I I tend to eat on the nice side, on the fancy side, and I pay for almost all my meals. I tend to eat on the fancy side because si quiero comer rico. So yo voy a ir a comer que al Madeira, al Curnia, Los Capinos, some of the places that are a little bit more on the pricey side. And I do that because, again, I don't have a family. I don't have huercos. I don't have anything to invest. I don't have a rent mortgage. I have a car payment that I have paid off, thank God, for the next 2 months. Very, very simple, very, very simple life. So I could afford to go and eat in these nice little niche little places. And there I run into a lot of these individuals that are the uppity ups here. And, I either get two responses. I get the response of like, what's he doing here? Or they go like, oh, again, I don't consider myself a part of that little niche little group. Never have and never will. I consider myself as part of Brownsville as a whole, including the niche little uppity 1% individuals that rule the city of Brownsville. We're all in this together, and that's the way it should be. That's actually been my pitch to a lot of the rich people here in the city of Brownsville, the people from St. Joe, the St. Joe Mafia, and all these people. Like, guys, you got to stop being the ones that expect all the goods to come your way. Now, again, that's just my thing. So I don't mind having other pages out there posting accidents and taking pictures of different events and what's going on in Brazil. That's their prerogative. And like I told my friends like from Brazil, I said I don't own social media. Uh, I'm just the king of all local social media, and I continue to be. And again, I take it as a compliment that a lot of the pages out there, like my friend Tito and some of brother, I take it as a compliment that a lot of these pages, they're doing what I'm doing. It's like it's a compliment because no one was doing what we were doing. No one does what we do anyway. So it's kind of good that they feed off of it, and I'm happy for them. I'm ecstatic for it. The same way that I have always been ecstatic in regards to the politics side of these pages. Like I'm very excited that Maggie's doing her thing with BISD and Susan's out there being the voice. I think where we've had this disconnect, maybe, or we tend not to agree, is that a lot of times they'll go out there and they'll post things without knowing the backstory behind all of it, and that's a little bit on the unfortunate side because a lot of us that know the backstory, and there's several of us will go like, You're not batting 100 there." Eh, eh, Nothing against them at all. Again, they're my friends. Susan's my friend. Maggie, I love to death. Maggie's my friend. But they put up a post. Maggie put up a post that I completely, really hated that she had posted. Maggie went out there and put up a post that, oh well, Marisa is like a bump in the log on the committees, on the budget committee, and was not asking any questions. And I think what happens is that a lot of people don't understand that these committee meetings, they're all a crock of shit. They're all a crock of crap. They're worthless. There's nothing that gets fixed or done at these committee meetings. Nothing at all. They the committee meetings are more there as a transparency type of tool, so that people can think that the individuals on the board and administration really care what their opinion is. Let me tell y'all, they don't care. They ultimately don't care because
Is that like the committee when they did the committee for changing the names or choosing the names of the elementaries, and they
yeah,
still ended up like
whichever way they
not choosing what everybody came in agreement with?
yeah, because it's they were going to do whatever they wanted anyway. they they make these little committees like to include people in the process. It, it doesn't exist, guys. It's all a sham, a scam, and people fall for it. And Maggie's post went up to say, "Well, Minerva Peña would have been very vocal." They use that to showboat. They use those committee meetings in order to pretend and to make people believe that they actually care. And look, Carlos Elizondo is a friend of mine. Carlos Elizondo does the same thing because it's the game to play. It's what you do. The real work is done in the back. The decisions are made behind closed doors, and the individuals that dictate what gets done are the majority board members and the superintendent when he's included in that little group. And that's what a lot of these individuals like Maggie and others, they need to understand and realize that that's what was the problem with Dr. Rene Gutierrez, that he had the four in his pocket. So Dr. Gutierrez could do anything that he wanted. And again, I'm not going to go out there and give an opinion in regards to was it all great, was it all bad? Not my call. Most of it, I think, was very detrimental to the district. On other things, you can't say that he did 100% things in the wrong. But they're all a scam, Sam. All these committee meetings, they're scam. They're just out there so that people can say uh, for transparency.
Is that like the committees from the Brownsville?
Yeah, all these committees in Brownsville and stuff. Again, it's just a show. Now,
Like
ultimately,
they're meant to be like, okay, let's get like uh I guess a variety of opinions,
no,
but sometimes it doesn't seem like that.
no.
Although, like when they were doing the whole choosing of the names for the schools, sometimes they didn't come to an agreement with. I know on one of those schools they didn't come to an agreement with, and they still went with whatever they had already had in mind.
Exactamente.
So they didn't take anything into consideration.
And that's what they all are about. All of them, every single one of them, all these committee meetings. The only ones that affect uh, the city of Brownsville, are GBEC, BCIC, and PUB. All the rest, all the other boards and committees, they're a crock of crap. And the people, and it really trips me out that people fall for that crap because the number one problem with the city of Brownsville are all these boards and committees, all these boards and committees, because ultimately they'll have their yes people on there, Sam, that are going to vote whichever way the commissioner that appointed them to those boards or committees are going to vote. The one and I say that the GBEC, BCIC, and PUB are the ones that are most pertinent, is because those are the ones that directly affect the citizens of Brownsville. BCIC, they take from the people of Brownsville. PUB takes from the people of Brownsville. GBEC takes from the people of Brownsville.
Is that like when UTB had like their scholars and the SGA thingy?
Exactamente. Same thing. You know, she had Julieta had her ambassadors in there, and they were, I mean, they were on scholarship, Sam. And I made mention of this back then when we were in student government. I said, "You really think that ambassadors are going to vote or going to give an opinion against Julieta Garcia, the one that's providing a scholarship for him? It's not going to happen." And exactly what happens with these little boards and committees here, like GBIC. The people on the board and committee, they get perks. You really think they're going to go against the city commissioner that appointed them, or the city commission that appointed them to a certain seat, when they're getting perks? Then it's not going to happen. So there's no representation for the people of Brownsville, and that's what's unfortunate. And it's the same thing with these budget meetings at BISD. And
And quick question, man. Weren't there some of them supposed to have like citizens? Like not just like other board members, like not other commissioners and stuff. Like I understand some of them have commissioners, but weren't they supposed to have like at least one or two citizens who are not on the board?
well, no, well, actually, let me tell you, the boards and committees in the city of Brownsville, they were uh, supposedly going to be made up of regular, normal citizens throughout the city of Brownsville. A lot of the city commissioners, they interjected themselves into these boards, or they had already been serving on these boards and just wanted to stay on them. And again, it's a mistake. I mean, you've got to have individuals on there that are from all parts of the community in order to get a clear view of what's happening throughout the city of Brownsville. But what would
Yeah, because
happen?
I remember they had said that they look into the applications, but if their name doesn't ring a bell, they'll just pass it on. I don't remember who had said that, but that rings a bell.
Well, what's trippy is the way that the way that I see the charter, the way that I imagined that these boards and committees were supposed to look like, Sam, was like every district would get an individual from their district to represent on boards and committees, so that the different boards and committees would have individuals from all over the city of Brownsville. It didn't happen. Sometimes you had, like, when Tony Martinez and Rose Gowan were there, and Rose Gowan's still there, piece of crap. When you had these people on there, they would put three or four people on boards and committees because you had weak commissioners that didn't stand up for their rights to have someone, a constituent from their district, on these boards and committees. And that's what screwed it up for the people of Brownsville. In BISD, it's different. The boards and committees are made up of board members. So it's like, why does it matter? You know, it's just a waste of time, Sam, because all the information that is being discussed there at these boards and committees, all this information they've already talked about. The majority has already talked about with the superintendent, so they know exactly which way that they're going to go. So it's just smokescreen. It's just bullcrap. Because does it matter what they say at a committee meeting, at a budget committee meeting, and it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, if you need, Sam, a committee meeting to have a conversation with an elected official, then you're not being truly represented. I want there to be an issue in uh, in facilities. Facilities, we can use that. I want to have the power, Sam, as a citizen of Brownsville, to where is that we have bathrooms that are not air conditioned, you know, sitting out there in the boonies, where our kids have to go in the rain, the cold, and go take a crap or piss, where it's like 100 and 120 degrees in there, or below zero. I want to be able to address and contact the city commission, the BISD board members, and say, get to this, fix this thing. Something's got to be done. Why do you have to wait to a facilities meeting in order to for them to prioritize the needs of the district. Just take care of it, fix it. If it's broken, fix
Like
it.
they should already have a list of things that need to be fixed, and then go down. They should be like already going down, checking off everything that they're fixing along the road. But if they don't have a list, and I'm pretty sure they probably do, but like the and then it's gonna go back to the same issue, like, oh, we don't have the funds for it, yada yada yada. But then it goes back to the whole thing of like, okay, so where's the transparency for the expenses of the funds?
Well, it's like remember with the bus stops. I mean, honestly, Sam, how many years have we been screaming about bus stops? Screaming about bus stops, and
Was it before or after COVID?
way before, and they had a list of all the bus stops they were going to do, and it took them like a decade to
Is that
start
on the same list that the old Highway 77 was gonna get fixed?
the same thing, you know, and it's something that the commissioner continuously say, "Oh, it's getting fixed. It's getting fixed." Yeah, but I mean, that should have been fixed a decade ago, you know. And if it's taken this long for there to be action, I mean, can you imagine a lot of the other streets in the city of Brownsville that look like Matamoros? It's crazy. But we're never going to get anywhere.
I'm surprised we don't have pesetas.
We're almost there, I'm sure. And
Hey, you know what, bro? I actually, and it caught me off guard. I right now I'm working with a guy from El Paso, and he had actually worked in Brownsville recently, like about I want to say like 6 months to a year. And he says that Brownsville actually looks better than El Paso, and I'm like, man, how bad is El Paso? That Brownsville is looking good, but he says that because he had visited Brownsville years, like decades ago, but he does see the difference. But I'm like, sometimes we do have to see it from like different eyes, but we still want everything like much better than what certain situations are.
well, it's again, it's really unfortunate, Sam. It's really fortunate that it happens at a lot of the border towns, you know. And I think what happens is it's that little Mexican political influence, you know, el dedazo, las tranzas, el que no tranza no avanza. It's that
Which reminds me of, you know what? Which reminds me, how come downtown's getting fixed so much faster than anything else?
downtown what?
How come downtown is getting fixed a lot faster than anything else?
Exactamente. And again, you go back to who owns the buildings, what businesses are there, and you ask yourself, uh, on what in what committees are these people that own these businesses and uh, buildings? On what committees are they on? And you're going to find that a lot of them are in BCIC, because BCIC has become the petty cash for the corrupt political machine that exists here in the city of Brownsville, and the Limas, the Fruyas, and all the other you know, richy little people from Matamoros that came over here, and all the rich folks here in the city of Brownsville, and they continue to make a killing. And it's unfortunate because if they would have placed that much emphasis on Brownsville as a whole, instead of limiting it to their own interests, then we'd have nothing to talk about. You know, there'd be nothing to talk about. And I mentioned, I don't know if you heard, um, I mentioned that at the start of the program because I've had some people that say, like, "That's well, no, pues there's some pages out there that get the, you know, they're doing what you're doing." And I said, "Yeah, I'm okay with that." You know, I've had conversations with these people. I don't. It doesn't matter to me. You, a lot of these pages, they're out there for the likes, the shares, and finding ways to make money. I'm not trying to monetize my page in that respects. I mean, I now I'm probably only getting like $20-$30 from some of the pages out there. Now I'll show people the receipts that I get. It's not so much being done for that kind of crap. And again, you're never going to hear a lot of these pages address the real issues that affect the citizens of Brownsville. I don't care that other pages go out there and put crashes. That's great. Que bueno. I mean, I don't own local internet, and I'm glad that a lot of the pages out there, like, oh, we're helping out the community. Great. I want more people and more pages to go out there and help the community. Es como dijo, like in the Bible, Sam. I know you know a little bit about it. In the Bible, it says about the pastors that están allá los predicadores. Unos predican por esto, pero they're preaching, you know. And I take that mentality. A lot of people can do it for whatever reasons they want to do it, for likes, shares, stars, or for whatever, to monetize it. That doesn't matter to me. As long as the information is getting out there to a greater number of people, I'm glad for that. I'm happy for that. But you're never going to hear any of the other pages talk about BCIC, the corruption at the BISD, GBEC, the port problems, because they've turned into these uh, Erasmo type of pages, but with a little twist on, going to make bank on this, which is, again, everyone's prerogative. It just doesn't work for me. Anytime that it's like when I would go eat at a place, Sam, la gente decían, es que te dan la comida gratis. And, that hardly was ever the case. Every so often, I'll go to a place and they'll go like, no, 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 it's on us or something like that. But I insist to pay for everything because I don't want people to to have anything on me to say, oh, pues Erasmo le pagan. You don't pay me crap. You don't own me, girl.
Yeah, I remember those comments.
Yeah, I wish. I wish I was.
Which would be nice if there were some food reviews every once in a while.
Well, I want to go
You're
back.
like, I don't need as much as I do.
I'd like to go back and do some of that kind of stuff. But with that said, again, it's like uh, you've got some of these pages again, like Brownsville Online, and now even my friend Tito Samagon. They do a lot of that now. And again, I don't know if these places are being built. I don't know if they're part of their buddy system, but more power to them. Again, as long as they go out there and promote local business and stuff, I'm happy with it. I'm ecstatic. I have no issue with it at all. There- I think some people, they try to do what they would do to me when I had my hater page, uh, or several hater pages. They sometimes wanted to put us against each other. And I said, no les voy a dar esa importancia. I don't care. I don't care. And now the hater page, my former hater page, is now a friend of mine too. And that's good. It's crazy.
That's hilarious.
Now, now even my haters are starting to like me.
Yeah.
That's that's when you really have to worry.
I know he tries to. I know even he tries to be funny every once in a while, but like I don't see the page or anything like that. Like I just see it from when other people share it. But it's funny as hell. I know he tries to do some other stuff, some random stuff.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, we're trying to better the community as a whole.
yeah. I mean,
Speaking of
yeah.
bettering the community as a whole, I know it didn't happen there in Brownsville. Oh, on I think is it July 16? I want to say July 16 because or June. Never mind. I know that there's going to be a boxing fight event there at the Fort Brown pretty soon.
At Fort Brown.
Um, yeah, at Fort Brown, there's going to be a boxing event. I guess not for the community, but like it's for the community, but they're going to be charging because I think that's like the next growing trend there in the valley. They're getting a lot of good people, black boxers representing the area.
Yeah.
Um, and the reason I know that there's going to be a fight there because the one that they held in Harlingen not too long ago by the Juarez promotion, I believe
Yeah.
it's called. Their next big event is gonna be at the Pain Arena. Like they
Wow.
had such a big hit that they're gonna move it to the Pain Arena. But it's good. Like it's and hopefully and then people were asking like, well, if they would have built the one in Harding or San Benito or Bronzeville, they would have had like an event there too.
One event, maybe.
Yeah. But still, but the thing, what my comment on that was like, if people would like not put their hands, so many hands into the cookie jar, like so blatantly, like so obvious, um, it will be like more supported, you know.
Yeah. Well, but
But
part of
since
the
people
issue.
see how like devious they're trying to be,
Yeah. Well, take into consideration. It's a different demographic, Sam. You got Edinburgh out there, and you're going to get a lot of people from McAllen, Monterrey, Reynosa, uh, Far, San Juan, all those people, and you're probably going to make a bigger bank than if you put it here in the city of Brownsville, because a lot of people
yeah,
from McAllen are not going to come to the city of Brownsville to see a boxing match. They're not going to do that. And again, nothing against, but it's just a different mindset. You know, if you've got, and I'm surprised the city of Brownsville hasn't really banked on this. Like if you, because I know Edinburgh does this, if you would bring down Los Tigres or Los Rayados, you know, and you would bring them for a soccer match, you know, against I don't know whoever, you know, here locally, that would attract a lot of people. Edinburgh does that, and I think McAllen does that as well. And se llenan los lugares, Sam. I mean, you could.
Yeah, the thing is, like, well, it's because they try to bank the most possible way, like by having people like eat in the city, stay in the city, and all that stuff. But most people, when they come over here, they're not gonna be staying at the end of the night or something like that, and then just drive back.
Yeah,
But
they don't want to be in Brownsville. And again, and again, it's like I don't know if you've seen, but they have soccer matches like with the Mexican teams and you have it like in Houston or Dallas or Miami and Florida.
yeah,
Stadiums are packed.
yeah. Well,
Sam,
right now they have like the Brownsville, the FC Brownsville
yeah,
that has been playing against Austin and Houston. Yesterday they played against Houston. And I know I think the first game was, they had quite a few people, but then it just goes down from there. But it just needs to have a little bit more, I guess, support from the city or more support from the community on that aspect. But they're good games. Yesterday they ended up 2-2 against Houston, and then it was a good match. I saw it online. It was a good match. But hopefully, little by little, they start getting support from the city or from the community itself.
we just need something different. That's
If
just
they
a,
would just have alcohol sell there,
well, you
it'll
know,
be a different story.
it's crazy because they've started to ban alcohol sales in a lot of these venues, and that's what really makes them
And
cash.
I understand it's a park. Like I'm not sure if they have it. The game was at sports park or not. And I understand it's a park, but um,
Well,
that generates a lot of sales.
yeah, I mean, you're talking about buckets full of cash because
Yeah,
every beer at one of these places te vale casi como $20 or something like that, or, you know, 15
yeah.
bucks.
Well, I know that like the AT&T is like at 17, and you're talking about like a 22 ouncer.
¿Te imaginas?
Um,
I mean, something
pero
que les cuesta
like
menos de
in
un
any
dólar.
other place, I'm pretty sure you could sell like the 22 ounces, like a good $5, like to start off. You know.
Well, I mean, and it costs them pennies on the dollar to, you know, to pour that uh like that glass of beer. You know, if they're out there charging 17 bucks for, you know, a pint of beer, whatever size it is, you know, they're probably paying $1 for it. So they're banking crap loads of cash, and everyone wants to drink at these events. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, I go to the movies, Sam, and I want to drink.
Yeah.
And now we're very fortunate that at our movie theater, finally, well, not finally, they've had it for a while, but we're very fortunate. The movie theater, like, if you want to go have like, you know, Maker's Mark and cherry coke, you could have one, you know, and watch a movie and just chill out. I usually
Yeah.
try to have two, but uh, that's the perks of having alcohol sales. Now, with it, you have to also have extra security, of course, because siempre van a estar allá. A veces van a salir los tacuaches, you know, and they're going to screw it up for everybody else. But
Yeah,
that's
well, the thing with the alcohol sales is that it generates like it generates not only the alcohol sales, but you gotta have food with it. You know, if you're gonna want to keep on drinking, you're gonna have food with it, and so that increases as well. Pero like as every todo con medida, tampoco no se van a alocar la gente.
todo con medida.
But yeah, but yeah, I've seen like theaters, like you mentioned, like they have like the beer sales, the servers, and everything. I think McAllen has one. No, they bring you like your entree to your chair, to your
Uh,
little table.
Edinburgh has one. I think Edinburgh has one of those theaters, which is kind of cool. It's like the Alamo Draft House. You remember the Alamo Draft House, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was kind of on the cool side. A lot of the Alamo Draft houses out there are a little bit on the older side,
man,
but
if we would have an AMC, that would be great.
amazing. I go to El Cine in San Pedro, and when I go to Monterrey, sometimes when the kids want to go, and there they serve you sushi or, you know, whatever. They'll come. You have a waiter come and take care of your order, and you're sitting on these like recliners, you know, to go watch a movie, and it
Yeah,
really isn't that expensive. You know, I mean, it isn't that expensive. But yeah, can you imagine one in Brownsville? It would be a major hit But no, I think that a lot of
Lo
people.
bueno que el movie de Brownsville ya huele que hay sushi adentro, pero no hay comida.
Oye, como quiera, me acuerdo que long, long time ago con la tía Odelia, este, allá, when I was very, very small, íbamos al Victoria. You remember the Victoria Theater?
Nope. Yo
Sí,
nomás
íbamos.
conocí el del Globo, el Dollar Tree que está allá por el 77 and the Sunrise.
Yeah, yeah. It's a little bit before North Park Plaza one. I went to North Park Plaza. El Victoria estaba aquí on la, en la 14, on the 14th Street, like, when you go into church on Tyler Street.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a block down from Tyler Street. It's now they have adult daycare center there or something. But that used to be El Cine Victoria. You'd see a lot of the older movies, the Pedro Infante movies, and a lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
And
That would be nice.
that was amazing. And la tía de ella llevaba una bolsa y llena de sándwiches y de cocas. Y de todo. Back then, when she pretended to like me, doesn't like me much anymore. But no, I mean, I
There, it goes in phases.
yeah, it was crazy. I think I told you one that she came to my office one time crying. Hey, I apologize. I'm sorry. And we're like, it's okay. Just stop being a bitch, And and the next day she was back at it. So kind of on the loony side. But I think that a theater like that would be a major hit here in the city of Brownsville. Major, major hit. I would be at it at least twice a week. Just because of the
Yeah.
convenience
Like,
of.
I've gone to the ones where you have like a recliner and it's literally a full size lazy boy on it,
It's,
and you can order your food and everything, and it or you can just like there's some other ones where they also have the lazy boy, and 'cause I think I'm trying to remember the name that they had over here in Oklahoma. There was one where it was like a local theater. It wasn't as big as AMC or Cinemark,
yeah.
but it was one of those like Midwestern theater that they had been around for like 80 years or something like that. Um, but they also had like the recliners, and you would just get up, and they had alcohol service and uh, popcorn and everything else. But it was real nice, just the fact of being able to recline and have food there, and like I think it was like pizza and hot dogs and nachos and everything else.
I think it would be an amazing, amazing hit for the city of Brownsville. But again, we don't have that type of vision, and unfortunately, every other city uh, in the valley, they're prospering in ways that we should have prospered like 5, 10 years ago.
Well,
Uh,
hopefully with LNG bringing more, I guess, jobs. Do you
I
think?
hope.
Okay, quick. Like, okay, this is like it just popped into my head. So SpaceX came in, offered a whole lot of jobs, a whole lot of pay. Things went up. LNG is going to be more or less the same. They offer a good pay rate, a whole lot of jobs. Is it going to go up again? Like like the houses prices, the everything else, or is it going to stay the same? That was one issue. And then the other issue was people were also complaining about that they also got a tax abatement of 10 years. But somehow he said that it was going to like they were going to still end up paying like lots of taxes by Judge Trevino.
Yeah, well, it's crazy, and este, uh,
I think, like, to me personally, I think it's great if everything is just in a controlled environment. Like everything, it's I guess managed correctly. I know people were kind of like iffy about it because the whole having the rocket being right next to like the LNG stuff,
well,
like an explosion waiting to happen. And then do we have the fire department size to control such an explosion? Like it has happened before in other refineries
yeah,
where it's just massive.
it, it's going to be interesting. One of the things when you mentioned the issue about, oh well, SpaceX brought in a lot of jobs. I'm seeing, and again, people can correct me if they want. A lot of the jobs that were filled by a lot of the individuals that were working elsewhere in the country, and not necessarily from Brownsville. I don't know if it's just because we don't have the training or the education that SpaceX is looking for. A lot of the other like maintenance jobs, a lot of the lower class, lower paying jobs out there, those were filled by a lot of individuals here in the city of Brownsville, which is great. It's not what we were promised. We were promised like people are going to get jobs to help send the spaceship to the stars. Don't think that that's exactly what happened, but that's okay. I'm not complaining about that. What I'm hearing now, Sam, and from a lot of individuals that work there, that they are getting pushed out of their positions. They're getting like a lot of pressure to quit. Recently, we had Elon Musk fire a mess load of people from his companies. I think it was like 2 months ago. No,
Yeah, he did. He did have a huge layoff. I'm not too sure if it was from that one or not. I don't have any
it
uh,
was, well, I'll tell you
information.
this. I know for a fact because that was during the time that I was buying my Tesla. And during the time that I was buying my Tesla, a lot of the folk that were working at the Tesla place, are no longer there.
Yeah,
So there was a little bit of weeding out all over Elon Musk's company, which is again, it's a smart thing to do if you're a businessman. It's just a smart thing to do if you're a businessman. You don't want to bleed out money. And I think one of the things that Elon Musk suffered from greatly was I think he suffered uh, uh, big old loss with Twitter, buying Twitter. And I think that's even that is still out there in, in litigation. But I think he lost like some billions of dollars on Twitter. Will he get that back? Probably. Does it really affect him? To have a trillionaire trip out about losing a couple of bucks here and there? I don't think so. I think Elon Musk is still going to be okay. No creo que va a batallar. I could be
yeah. I
wrong.
don't think so. It'll struggle. I know he had laid off some people over there in Austin too.
Oh yeah, a ton
Uh,
of people are
but
awesome.
they were. I think what I heard from them is that they were paid up until like July, so they had like money coming in up until July.
Yeah, a couple months to find another job. And again, I just don't know how well the economy is here locally. What the hell? Why am I getting all these little beeps? I don't know. But I don't think he's suffering. And again, I don't think a lot of his people are going to be suffering either. I'm sure that they're going to get picked up somewhere or other. I don't know. I just
Yeah.
don't know how the economy is.
Well, Samsung was gonna start building over there, weren't they, in Central Texas?
And
Samsung was gonna start building semiconductors.
I, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, brother. I'm not sure, but uh, it's just weird. Oh, yes, we've been on for a while now, 45 minutes. I gotta get to work.
All right, man. Same
Este,
here. I'm already at work.
thanks for coming on. I'm getting messages from a lot of folk out there.
Yeah, no
Este,
worries, man.
and have a great day, man. And when are you coming back?
Ah, I saw some dates, but it's gonna be like probably like early August.
Damn.
Yeah,
Está bueno. If you come
it's
back
because I'm
soon,
gonna try to be there right before the boxing fight because my son's into boxing,
uh-huh.
so I'm gonna try. Cause I only get like 1 week, so I'm gonna try to have to plan it around that.
Well, it's crazy because boxing. We've gotten some great boxers here. There's a guy I think from McAllen también or Edinburgh something. That's like always doing the big events. I can't remember his name, but there's a lot of
Yeah,
great.
well, there's quite a few boxing clubs there in Bronxville. I know the Juarez promotion groups. They're getting pretty big, and they're the ones doing the one in Pain. I know there's another boxing. It's called Battlegrounds.
Yeah,
They're on 802, close to military. They're pretty good as well. I'm trying to remember. I think there was another one down price, but it's a great way to keep the kids busy during the summer.
100%. All right, Sam. Have a great day. I'll see you hopefully tomorrow.
All right, man. Talk to
Guys,
you later.
each other. Be
Have a
good
good
to
day. Bye.
best.